So Chapter 3 Season 4 Paradise has finally made its way into the game, and in today's video I'm going to be giving all my first impressions on the season after playing it for about 3 to 4 hours so far. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the strongest starts for a Chapter 3 season we've had so far, next to Chapter 3 Season 1 of course. Of course, before we get in the video, if you guys do end up enjoying the content, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first off, I want to talk about the map changes because I feel like that's the most exciting part of the season so far. We've got one brand new POI plus a bunch of changes to some other ones. So the brand new POI is Herald's Sanctum, which I think is honestly a really fun POI to drop. It's definitely the best place to go if you just want to get a feel for all the brand new mechanics, and I'm glad that this is the first spot that I went to when dropping into the brand new season. Of course, this place is completely covered in chrome. It's like a giant chrome castle, and I think it's really cool. Lots of fun open areas to fight. It's really easy to kind of get a feel for the looting routes and everything. And honestly, the chrome mechanics are a lot of fun, and the boss is pretty cool as well, though I wish it gave you something a bit more exciting for defeating it. And of course, this is one of the chrome POIs, meaning that there are chrome chests here which can give you brand new chrome weapons, which I think are really cool, but we'll talk about that more later once we get to the gameplay section. In terms of other map changes, Shimmering Shrine and Fort Jonesy are both really good improvements upon those POIs, though I still wish they did a little bit more with them. Luster's Lagoon is also really cool. I like that they made the boat float, and since Lazy Lagoon is such a new addition to the map, even though I don't think that POI really needed to be changed this early on, I'm definitely glad it did. And then lastly, Cloudy Condos has to be my brand new favorite spot on this map. Number one, it gives me huge Chapter 2 Season 3 nostalgia because it reminds me a lot of the floating POIs from that season, and I also already really liked Condo Canyon, so having a new rearranged version, which I would argue has a better layout, is definitely a really cool thing to see, and hopefully gets more people to actually drop this spot. And the Reality Tree biome also got kind of a makeover with this brand new fall aesthetic, which I don't really like as much as the purple aesthetic, but it's still a nice change to see. And while I'm still not really a huge fan of this biome, I'm glad that they kept it in, because it shows that Epic has learned that they need to keep in map changes from past seasons, because it just makes the evolution of the map just feel a lot more exciting and interesting. So yeah, overall, I feel like it's the best map changes we've had since the launch of Chapter 3. We had a lot of map changes last season, but I feel like the quality of these map changes is a lot better. Plus, there's just a lot more of them at the very start of the season, which is exciting, and there's a lot more room for them to make even more as the season progresses. I do worry though that unlike last seasons, I feel like a lot of these seasons map changes will get reversed just because they're so specific to this chrome theme that I feel like won't be sticking around after the season, but we'll just have to wait and see. I could definitely see myself landing in these places a lot during this season. And also, I'm just so glad that they finally changed the Sanctuary and Fort Jonesy. Those were by far my two least favorite POIs, and now Herald's Sanctum is one of my new favorites, so that's always nice to see. So anyway, let's move on to the gameplay of this season because they actually made a lot of really cool changes. So let's just start with the chrome stuff. So of course there's chrome all over this brand new map, but the way it works is actually pretty interesting. Any chrome walls can be passed through, which makes fighting in these areas a bit more interesting. Plus, with the addition of the chrome splash, you can splash your opponent's builds with the chrome so that you can pass through their walls, which I think is really interesting. You can also use chrome splash to cover yourself in the chrome, which allows you to get lots of interesting mobility, and I think it's just a really fun way to get around the map. And it switches up build fights quite a bit, actually. I feel like this item won't be used as much in Zero build, but the Chrome Splash for build mode is a really cool addition, and it really switches up your strategies when it comes to facing off an opponent. It's really fun to get into your opponent's box by turning their walls to chrome. It's just a really cool mechanic that I'm glad we have to differentiate this season a bit more from the rest. It's something I feel like last season was kind of missing when it came to new mechanics. We also have the brand new chrome weapons, which I think are really cool. We have the Chrome AR, which is kind of a new version of the burst, but in my opinion it feels a lot more accurate and a lot more satisfying to use. And then you have the chrome shotgun, which is really interesting. It's got kind of a horizontal spread when it comes to the projectiles, which I think makes it really unique, and it's also really fast and just really satisfying to use. These chrome weapons also go up in rarity the more damage you deal with them, which I think is a really interesting mechanic, and also differentiates these weapons a bit from the rest. In terms of the rest of the loot pool, I think it's an overall improvement. Shotguns feel way quicker and faster due to the fact that we have the lever action. They finally took out the auto and the striker pump, which I think was a great idea. I think the lever action's a lot of fun, it's really satisfying, and while I wish we had the tack instead, it's still such a huge improvement from what we had before. Shotguns actually feel fast and satisfying now. Snipers also got a huge buff. Due to the fact that they can now one-shot headshot again, all snipers across the board were buffed, which means in creative, your snipers are now back to being good again and viable for your maps, which I think is really cool, and in BR, of course, it makes sniping a lot more fun. Unfortunately, the only sniper we have is the Hunter bolt action, which I think is a lot of fun and honestly might be one of my new favorite snipers now due to the buff, but there's still a lot of other snipers that I wish we had in the game, including the hunting rifle, and I wish we still had the heavy. But yeah, huge upgrade to snipers, huge upgrade to shotguns, not so much everything else. The SMGs are kind of weird. We got the suppressed, which is great. Then we got the rapid fire, which I like, but I feel like we're kind of missing a middle ground SMG. I think the standard SMG would have been nice to include, and then ARs just still don't really do it for me. The hammer is fine, but then you have the Ranger still, and I just don't like using it at all. And on top of that, you don't really have any other options. I really miss the tactical AR that we had in the last season. I think that was a really good addition to the loot pool. Though this new Chrome AR is pretty fun, so it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to the ARs. I still really think we should have the standard AR back in the game, but I digress. But yeah, huge improvement when it comes to the loot pool. The item pool is pretty much still the same, so nothing good or bad really happened with it. I still think the item pool is pretty fun. And again, Chrome Splash is just a really cool new item to add to that mix. So yeah, I think the loot pool is honestly a big improvement and probably the best loot pool we've had so far this chapter. And the map changes are extremely impressive in my opinion, and there's a bunch of POIs that I'm actually going to land throughout the entirety of the season. Overall, the season's looking really exciting. So lastly, I want to talk about the cosmetics, which so far, just not a huge fan of the Battle Pass, honestly. I just don't really like it at all. I don't really like any of the skins in it. It's the first time a Battle Pass has come out, and I just don't really like anything in it. Even in Chapter 3, Season 2, there were some skins that I enjoyed, but here, I'm just not a huge fan. Maybe it'll grow on me over time, but I don't really mind it when the season launch is this entertaining and this much fun. I'm not really worrying about what skin I'm wearing during the season, just because I'm having a good time playing the game right now. And I think it's a lot of fun, and hopefully it stays this way. Hopefully they keep it up. Hopefully I enjoy it this much during the entire season. We'll just have to wait and see, but for now, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are too. But yeah, now I turn the conversation over to you guys. What do you guys think about the season so far? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd honestly be really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Of course, if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, because I make videos like this all the time. And you can also use my supported creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.